your relationship with the ocean is just as strong as your relationship with the land. Let's talk about beach to farm and your sustainable practices and your way of life. When it comes to living off the grid, farming your own vegetables and fruits, raising your own animals, and processing them and enjoying them and sharing them with your family and your community. What is going on with that, Joel?
So the farming and living off the grid, all that kind of came a little bit out of left field for us. Grew up Makakilo, pretty much bought our dream house in Haleiwa. I could run across the street and go surf my favorite wave. And then kind of right around 2018, 2019, just before COVID, my in-laws from Makakilo were like, we're going to buy this lot, 5 acres in Wailua. And like me and my wife like always drove down the backside of Kaukonahua Snake Road and always looked towards Mount Kala and we're like, wow, that's the dream right there, And so we're like, oh, cool, and so we kind of encouraged, her parents to like, oh, maybe you should get that lot,
Yeah.
And like the whole family came and took a look at the lot and mom and dad are like, yeah, let's get this lot, And so from there forward, we were still in Haleiwa, right across the street from the beach. Me and my wife were like, we got to figure out a way to like move to this land, and there was no farming, no background, other than maybe I planted a fruit tree in my yard once or something and it died. You know what I mean? So it was kind of one of those things. And so, so we decided to like, okay, like how can we move up there? And so I was like, should I build a tiny home? What should I do here? And so I came across this office trailer, turned it into a 2-bedroom. Took me a lot longer than I thought because I have no skills in carpentry or anything like that. Thankfully, I have a ton of good friends that just are like, okay, like, this is what you do that, okay. And then finally I was like, okay, paid my friends, said, let's finish this thing, And so where that zone is, like, there's no option to tie into Hawaiian Electric. So it's off grid. So the only thing that came with the lot is a well. So we got our fresh water. So water's obviously a very important one. And then, so once we finished our 2-bedroom, we were like, solar, I was like, oh, solar, okay. Solar, batteries, let's see how this goes, But our whole goal was to just move up there, And so during that time while we were doing the construction, and just before that, my wife decided to take a program called Go Farm Hawaii. And so they basically teach you to farm, like commercially, and it's like a 6-month class. And so she just like, she got super into like the growing of vegetables and the different things. And so we were like, okay, well, like, she's learning that. We're going to move up here. Okay, let's figure this out. And so, yeah, from the time we got up there, like, COVID happened. And we're like, oh, okay, like, we have a lot more time now, That's the one thing with farming. It's like, it's hard. It's a lot of hard work, And 5 acres is a lot of land. And, like, when we first got the land, the whole lot was, like, it's California grass, like guinea grass. So it's just like, we see it everywhere. Itchy, gnarly. And so it was like, okay, like if we're going to farm this land, then we have to start to clear the land and like figure out what we want to do. And so, with my wife and kind of what she learned in that program, we like just took it straight into it. And then as we came into COVID, it was like, whoa, like my job kind of went at a standstill, I'm like, at that point I was like, sales rep for Hurley. And I was like, well, there's no tourists coming in. There's no, like the company that owns us, like there's no selling of Hurley products. And so I was able to just be like, oh, we're gonna hammer the farm, And so like our whole family just took that time to just like put fruit trees in the ground and then put vegetables in the ground and just really start to like figure out what we wanted to grow, what we wanted to eat, And that's kind of where we ended up landing as far as like, like everybody always asking, oh, what do you grow? What do you grow? And I'm like, well, for one, we grow like what we like to eat. It's like we're not gonna put like, some random tree and then be like, oh, I don't even like this fruit, So we just like we put in fruit trees, and we want mangoes, we want an ulu tree, we love avocados, we want avos. Okay, we're putting in avos, we like citrus, we love oranges. Like, okay, we're gonna put in some citrus, we're gonna put in some lemons, some limes, And that's the one thing. It's like, because people always ask us like, oh, like that's so cool, you know what I mean? But it's like, and we're doing pretty big scale because it is 5 acres, and it's like. Our trees, because they take a while before they actually start to produce fruit, right? So if you put them in pretty young, then, the first couple of years, you're not going to actually get fruit until it actually kind of starts to like get to that point where it bears fruit. Matures and bears, yeah. And so like, dude, like all like our avocado trees, like all of them just started going off last summer.
No.
Yeah. Our mango trees, like, going off. There's like 1,000 mangoes on our tree. Like our citrus started going off a couple years prior. So it's just like the amount of like food you get from like, and that's like probably 2 acres of fruit trees, And like, it's just like, I'll send you back, like limes, one tree, it's like huge baskets of limes. Yeah. My mother-in-law sells our produce to Down to Earth.
Really?
Over here. I think this one over here.
Okay, so no. Not only am I pumped because I just bought 5 avocados at Foodland, and for what, $20 or some shit. No, not $20, but it's just. When's the last time that you've bought fruit from a store?
It just depends, like. I can't remember fruit, it's a hard one because sometimes we do buy avocados, you know what I mean? Like we'll just go buy the bag from Costco. Yeah, off season, or if like our tree's not going, And so we do from time to time buy certain things, and that's the other side of things too. Like during COVID, like we had so much time to be out there planting veggies, recycling, covering, you know what I mean? And then as we kind of came out of the COVID time, it was like, back to work. And it was like less time out there, you know what I mean, doing it. And so, for us, so like I said, I mean, we're still like, we got into other things from like per se just doing fruits and veggies,
Animals. What kind of animals are you raising?
So we raise our own lamb.
Lamb?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
huge in Mediterranean culture.
Yeah.
Fairly big in American Western culture. So you got lamb, but you also have chickens.
So we also have chickens. So we do lamb, chickens, and rabbits. And so we do rabbits for meat. We do lamb for meat. And then we did do chickens for a while. And then we kind of took a break from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a video of you with chicken eggs.
Yep.
I think everyone's kind of huge on eggs.
Yeah.
I love eggs, and fresh eggs they always taste different from some of the eggs that you get that are mass produced, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference between a chicken that comes from your farm from a packaged Taisei chicken that you get from the store?
That's a good question. So we, when we were raising our own meat chickens, we made sure that we fed them the right things, right? And so the difference between our chickens versus like a Tyson packaged chicken is our chickens are raised on grass. And so they're outside and they're on grass. So they're getting all those awesome nutrients, whether it's the bugs and the different things or the veggies that we throw in there. And then with the feed, we got pretty into it because we're like, how can we like make the best tasting chicken, you know? And so then a couple of summers that we did the chickens, we brought in 100% organic feed from the mainland. So we just buy a big pallet of it. And then we'd feed our chickens like the best feed as well too. And so we feel like we got it down to a T where like, okay, like this chicken, I can taste the difference in our chicken versus is like our Costco chicken or something, you know? And it just tasted a little bit like, I don't know, just better, you know?
I've definitely had like just like fresh organic chicken before that was freshly butchered, and it has a different tenderness, it has a different flavor, and no antibiotics.
Yes.
It's always good.
But like you mentioned it, I think with the eggs too, same thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, we have egg layers right now, we probably get anywhere, it fluctuates between 15 to probably 20 eggs a day, Wow. And that's just our egg layers. But That's one thing that we see the difference in the taste, you know, and obviously we all know there was a big egg shortage, you know, or we're out of it now, but, but the taste, you know, and that's the difference of like, you know, like homestead style, it's like they're raised up outside in over grass, you know, and those yolks are just a little bit darker, like just more nutrients, and they just taste better, you know, because they're not in some factory or some warehouse in a thing just laying eggs, eating like, you know, GMO feed, like whatever it is, you know, and so you notice the difference in the taste of things.